Call of Duty World War II is finally here. After years of not having a boots on the ground Call of Duty, or almost 10 years of not having a World War II based Call of Duty, we are finally back to what started the Call of Duty franchise as a whole. But does it live up to the expectations that we always dreamed of? Call of Duty World War II is here, and I'm so excited, and I'm also not that excited at the same time. It's a weird love-hate relationship going on right here between me and Call of Duty. But let's talk about this a little bit more. Is this game worth the $60? Today we're going to be doing it a little bit different. We're going to be looking at the value of the game more than just a general review. There's like 50 reviews out on World War II. I don't need to make another one. But is this game worth shedding $61 bills or $32 bills? That's a weird way to explain it. Is this game worth your money? Let's talk about this a little more. Now, in the past, I would usually do some sort of like review type thing where I just kind of do a review on the game and then I say buy or don't buy. But Call of Duty, it's such a weird game to talk about because at the beginning, a lot of people want to discuss its merit in the Call of Duty franchise as where does this Call of Duty stack up against other Call of Duties, and that defines if a Call of Duty game is good or not. And I think that's kind of dumb because overall, for the most part, there's actually a lot of value packed into the Call of Duty games. And honestly, Call of Duty World at War was my favorite Call of Duty of all time. So for us to finally get back to that Call of Duty World War II time period, it's really exciting for me. Now, at the same time, one thing we all have to realize is that this Call of Duty game is not Call of Duty World at War II. It's not even a old Call of Duty 2. It's not a Call of Duty. It's not the Call of Duty 5 we've all wanted. If you're looking for that type of competitive play or that type of gameplay again, it's not going to scratch the same itch that you've always wanted. Call of Duty has inevitably evolved into something different. Now, at the same time, even though it has changed over the years, it's not the same Call of Duty. I don't know exactly what it is, but it's a different Call of Duty. It's a new experience. And for a lot of us, the new experience is a great thing. But to me, it just doesn't quite hit the nostalgia bone, that feeling where I want to stay up all night, every night playing Call of Duty. But at the same time, believe it or not, Call of Duty is just packed with things to do in it. And for a $60 price tag, it might actually be something you would consider buying. The single player game looks amazing from what we've seen in the trailers, and we know that Sledgehammer Games actually can make a decent campaign. Advanced Warfare's campaign wasn't that bad, and for the most part, the Call of Duty campaigns aren't terrible. I wasn't a fan of Black Ops 3's, but for the most part, most Call of Duty campaigns are pretty good. We are going to have a multiplayer, and like I said, it doesn't play exactly like the old Call of Duty games played, but at the same time, it's still something that most players are going to sink at least 15 to 20 hours into it, and if you can get hooked on it, you'll easily sink much more time into that game. And then we're also surprised with a zombie mode, which I guess isn't too much of a surprise since they put it in every Call of Duty game now, but I do remember Advanced Warfare didn't have too bad of a zombie gameplay, even with the exo suits, and if we're going boots on the ground and we're going back to Nazi zombies, the type of zombies that started it all, I think most players can sink several hours into Nazi zombies. It looks like we're going to be getting 2 zombie maps, which is a great sign. Multiplayer, we only get 9 maps, which is the lowest amount of maps we've ever had in a Call of Duty game, which I was extremely disappointed about. I don't know, I don't know why. They added some war maps, which is different than multiplayer maps. I don't see why they can't just convert the map and make it work for both, but that's what we're working with. We get 9 maps, 10 maps if you bought the season pass ahead of time, which I'm not going to because I don't want to spend money on a game that I don't know if I'll still be playing in a year. But if you look at it from like a objective standpoint, where you're looking at just how much time you're going to spend into the game, you're easily going to get 5 hours out of the campaign. Most likely, even with there only being 9 maps, and it gets repetitive after a while, you're going to be looking at 15 hours minimum of Call of Duty multiplayer. And you're also looking at easily 10 to 15 hours of zombie mode if zombies is something that you like. We have 2 different zombie maps, which is a great sign. If you count all of that time up, you're easily going to be spending well over 30, 40 hours on a game, which is much more time than most players will play in a single player only game that they'll still spend $60 on. Look at Wolfenstein 2. A lot of people are willing to drop $60 on Wolfenstein 2, and the campaign's only about 15 hours long, and there's no additional things to do for replay value. You can play through it on a higher difficulty, but there's no multiplayer mode, and there's nothing extra really to do once you beat the game. So with that, I'm excited for Call of Duty World War II. I'm ready for the full release. I'm excited to go on and play it. But at the same time, it's just, I know that this isn't Game of the Year Call of Duty like I remember from the old days of Call of Duty's heyday, where it was, you know, Call of Duty 4 through Black Ops 2, where pretty much every Call of Duty game was a solid experience. But let me know what you think about this. Do you think that Call of Duty World War II is worth your $60? I personally think that it is, just because of the amount of different things that you're able to do when you compare it to a different game. Sure, it's not the greatest Call of Duty, but we don't have to necessarily compare this game against other Call of Duties, because it's still in a class of its own, if that makes sense. Let me know what you think in the comment section down below. Check out my Discord also, because I need people to play World War II Zombies with, and I only got a couple hours before it's out. So join the Discord if you want to play Call of Duty with me, and I will see you guys in a couple of days with a brand new video. If you're new, be sure to subscribe. We do a bunch of gaming discussion videos just like this on several different games, and it's a great old blast of a time. Alright guys, I'll see you guys next time with a brand new video. Bye guys.